welcome back to my channel. This is Chet Talks, and today I am back with another one of my tech talks. And ooh, Chet Talks, Tech Talks. That's pretty cool. I didn't know I could. So I've been thinking. I've had this camera for about 10 years now, and I've been using it for all sorts of things, filming random videos with my friends, photography, just random stuff that I'm just doing in nature or just anything, vlogging during on holiday and whatnot. And it's served me well, but not as well as I would want it to. I mean, it's done the job, but I've had to make compromises. I've had to do things a certain way so that this camera works for me. Now, I've got to the upper limit of what this camera can do. And I thought to myself, what camera do I want next? And I did my searches. I went through to Sony, I went through to Canon, I went through to Nikon and Fujifilm and Olympus, and I even went down to Pentax. And I officially and ultimately arrived back at the same family that this camera is from, and that is Nikon. And there's a fundamental really good reason why I ended up at Nikon, and that is because of this camera right here, the Nikon Z6. Yes, people, I have a new camera. It is here with me today, and I'm going to be doing a short unboxing along with a semi-in-depth review of it. Now, the review is going to be somewhat of an early stage review. I haven't gone through the camera in full detail, and I've not really used it in the real world. But this is going to be my sort of first impressions of it, what I think of it, how it feels in the hand, how the controls feel, how it compares up to the other mirrorless new age cameras that are out there right now, and hopefully you guys get some value out of it and see if this could actually be your next camera. Now, this camera was launched back in 2018. It's been around for a little while. It's been tried and tested by a lot of people out there, and I've chosen to go for it now. It's been in the market long enough to drop in value for it to be reasonably priced, as well as finding one that hasn't had that much use. Now, if you're a Nikon shooter already, this camera is a godsend, and the only reason for that is that with it and its new F to Z adapter, you can use the old F-mount lenses on it. Now, the F-mount lenses that have been out on Nikon cameras have been out for ages and ages and ages, and you've got a bundle of lenses to choose from, which is a massive plus point for this camera. And I think a lot of people will choose to stay with Nikon against going for the other brands out there just purely because of this feature. Okay, so I'm just going to stop talking there. I want to show you the camera, so here it is. There it is, people. Nikon Z6. Let's just go ahead and unbox this. So over here, you open it up and you've got essentially the camera and the lens, camera body and the lens itself, and in there is the F to Z adapter. I'm going to start, guys, with the camera body itself. So let's move these to the side. Now, in here, I'm expecting to find a rubber casing on it. Now, the rubber casing I always like to have because sometimes I use my camera in really like gritty environments and I don't like it getting scratched or marked up. So there it is. That looks really cool. We have also got USB-A to USB-C cable. We've got the neck strap, and we've got the power adapter. So that is that box to the side. This is the camera itself. It is pretty neat as a mirrorless camera, relatively thin body compared to the older DSLR cameras, and of course even the newer DSLR cameras, they've got that thicker body. Now, the mirrorless cameras are always going to be thinner, and there's a reason for that. It's because there is no mirror in there, so it doesn't need to take up that extra space. Okay, I'm going to leave that to the side just for now. I am going to get back to it, but for now I just want to get over to the 24-70 lens. Now, this is supposed to be the kit lens, effectively the kit lens that comes with the camera. It's supposed to be a pretty decent lens. In here we've got like a pouch or a soft cloth for the lens, and we've got also the lens itself. That is the lens. Now it's pretty compact for a 24-70. It's pretty small in that sense, and I'm sure once on the camera will feel pretty good and balanced. It's really high quality. It's a metal sort of body to the lens, and you've got like this rubber feeling to the zoom and the focus rings as well. Now, being an f4 lens, it's not going to have the greatest bokeh that you can get on, you know, a 24-70. I know that Nikon have another 24-70 which is a 2.8, which is going to have a much better depth of field, but this is a great entry-level lens just to get used to the camera and how it shoots and how it focuses. So yeah, definitely looking forward to testing this out. Box to the side. God, there's so many things to throw away. So we have the lens hood, the lens, the camera itself, and now finally the F to Z adapter. Now it's sold separately. It's normally £250. Now in here again, usual, that's a lot of manuals for an adapter. That's the adapter. Pretty small, pretty light. It's got a great feel to it. It's got the same construction as the body itself. The lens is obviously metal body. This is plastic to reduce weight, because of course you don't want to have the camera and this increasing the weight as you go along. And then on the front you would screw on any of your old f-mount lenses. Now this would be something where you could adapt any autofocus lenses to this camera. And yes, I know you're thinking, does the autofocus work? Yes, it does. The autofocus works with this adapter. This has been designed by Nikon to specifically use the old f-mount lenses and get full function out of them. So definitely worth buying. To the side. Now I want to show you guys what it looks like when we set up the camera body with the new Z mount lens, and show you exactly how that looks and feels. Now, as this camera is, it feels really balanced. The lens itself feels good. The grip is really nice. It's deep enough for me to get a good little grip on there, yet still feel comfortable pointing and shooting. The only weird thing is that, I don't know if you can see it, but the F to Z mount sits slightly lower than the camera itself. So this is going to be an annoying thing when you're trying to mount it on a tripod or anything like that. You're going to have to get your tripod plate and put it on there instead of there. That might be annoying, but now this camera is jam-packed with features. Now, it's not just your basic entry-level mirrorless camera, which is going to do the bare minimum. This full frame sensor is paired with a bunch of features such as 4K 60 frames per second, 1080p 120 frames per second, so you can get that smooth buttery slow-mo that you've been waiting for. Now, the best thing about this camera also is that if you attach an external recorder, you can record in 10-bit. Now, that's something that a lot of people are struggling to get out of these small, tight mirrorless cameras, even in the current generation. Now, this camera came out in 2018, and that was a game changer then. Yes, you can get 10-bit. Another good thing about this camera is that it has 5-axis in-body stabilization. So lenses out there would have stabilization historically. This actually has it in the body, so you're getting a much better result when you're zoomed out all the way and you're trying to keep it steady. This is doing it in body. In-house is always better. Lenses nowadays, they do have it, such as this one. This has got the VR vibration reduction in here, but that's doing it through the lens. Nowadays, you'll find it in the cameras. You also have the ability to focus either by half pressing the shutter button. You've got the ability to focus by using the back button, or you can focus just by touching the screen on whichever point you like. It does also have a function where if you tap on the screen, it will focus there and take a picture. Now, in terms of the back buttons on the camera, it is a really good layout, similar to what you will have always seen on a Nikon. So there's a very familiar user sort of setting and profile here. And just on the top here, you've got the two dials. These are your program sort of buttons, and this is your wheel to control the ISO or aperture, whichever function you're looking to change. On the top here, you've got your shutter button, as well as another scroll function here as well. Now on the back here, you've got your simple display button. You've got the functionality to change from shooting picture mode to shooting video mode. You've also got this here nipple that's going to be used to change the focus point on your screen. You've also got the D-pad with the OK button in the middle. You can also use the screen as a touch screen, which is blimmin' amazing. The touch screen is super responsive, it's super smooth, the screen is really sharp, the functionality is amazing. But if you prefer buttons, you can still use them. So however you feel comfortable, this camera will let you do it that way. So these are all customizable to what you want them to be, as well as two function buttons at the front, which are also customizable. One super annoying thing about this camera is that it does not have an SD card. It records on an XQD card. Now, they're not that popular. They are out there and they're becoming more popular. But I think why Nikon chose to go for that was because it is definitely a much more reliable card than an SD card. It will very rarely crash on you, which is why, again, I think they've only gone for one memory card slot. But yeah, Sony XQD cards is the ones that I would be using. They're pretty expensive compared to your standard SD cards, but then again, they've got faster write speeds and they're much more reliable. So I think still worth the money. In here, you do also have a HDMI port. You've got a external remote port. You've got a USB-C port, which you can use for charging the camera while the battery's in the camera, which is good. So if you haven't got your bulky charger with you, you can just plug it in via USB. Takes a bit longer, but still does the same job. You've got a headphone port here. You've got a mic port as well. So if you want to put an external mic on top, great. You can monitor your audio as well while you're doing that. And then, of course, this is Wi-Fi compatible. So if you do want to beam your footage across, you can do that. You do have an OLED screen at the top here, which will display all of your ISO and aperture settings, etc., which you will also see on the screen here, as well as the viewfinder. Now, the viewfinder is probably one of the best in the game, especially in the mirrorless industry. It's an electronic viewfinder. The resolution is incredible, and the sharpness of what you see in here is just as good as what you see on this screen, if not better. The best thing about it is that it's positioned a little bit further out from the screen, so you don't squish your nose while trying to look through the viewfinder. I don't know why I'm trying to look through the viewfinder with this part of my forehead, but you know what I mean. You're not going to squash your nose on the screen. Now the screen, you can tilt it out as far as that goes. Flat, you can tilt it down. Doesn't go all the way down, so when you're doing those overhead shots, you can just about see the screen. You don't have the ability to fully articulate the screen out, which is a bummer. So if you are a vlogger or anything like that and you want to have the camera out, you can't see yourself. Now, you can confidently probably frame yourself in a decent way if you do have a decent wide enough lens. So probably not too much of a worry if you are using this for vlogging, because it's got a pretty wide sensor and a wide frame, so you should be okay. But yeah, you're just going to struggle framing your shot, especially without the ability to see what's in front of you. Now the battery on here is pretty decent. You're probably going to get about 600 shots out of it before you need to charge it, but the fact that you can charge while in camera is a massive bonus. I would always recommend getting a second battery if you're going to be doing more shots than that. I've got to say I am super gutted that I have to say goodbye to this camera. It has been a superb workhorse and it's done me really well over the past, I think, 5 years that I've had it. I would always recommend that you try your creative ideas on a really budget and basic camera. Learn the camera techniques, learn how to hold it, learn how to make your pan shots or whatever type of shots you're trying to do on a basic camera. And when you bring those techniques onto a much better camera such as this, it will look so much better. All of us have to start somewhere. All of us have started somewhere, and we all took steps to get to where we are today. There are people out there who have done so well and got so far down the line and have developed their craft into something that just looks absolutely amazing. And they all started with cameras just like this D5200 that I'm filming on. Yes, it's been an amazing camera. It's budget as hell, but it does the job. And coming from that humble camera background, whether it's your iPhone, whether it's a dinky point and shoot little Fujifilm camera, or it's a GoPro or something like that, you're learning the craft of filmmaking. You're learning the craft of actually framing a shot and telling a story. So no matter what camera you have, get out there, take those shots, make some videos, and get them out there for the world to see. Now, as well as all of this, I've had a massive gear upgrade. I bought a drone, I bought a camera bag, I bought a gimbal, I bought different lights, and I'm going to be reviewing and testing all of these things over the coming months. So keep an eye out on my channel for those videos if you're into that kind of thing. I will be doing other of my talks and stuff as well, but I really want to develop the tech review side of this as well, because it's something I actually quite passionately enjoy, and hopefully you guys get some value out of it. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought you some value or some sort of knowledge to what these mirrorless cameras can offer. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. And of course, stay tuned to the channel. I will be uploading more often now. Yes, I've had complaints that I'm not uploading enough. I'm gonna do it, all right? I'm doing it as fast as I can. It's coming. But yeah, I'll be doing more videos coming up soon. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that button, subscribe to my channel. Let me know that you are out there. Say hello, and I will do my best to drop you a message back. I'm going to stop right there, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.